The U.S. Supreme Court says Texas can use its controversial new voter ID laws for this November's election. That means voters will have to produce certain forms of ID to be allowed to cast a ballot. Now, around 600,000 voters could be turned away at the polls for not having the correct identification. Early voting in Texas begins on Monday. And Ryan, one of the things they were protesting was the death of Romain Brisbane. The 34-year-old died after a struggle with an officer who shot him. Now there's an autopsy controversy brewing. Jason Valentine has more on why the family is already upset with how the investigation is going. Doctors now confirm that a New Jersey boy has died of the enterovirus. They've since notified the Centers for Disease Control. It's heartbreaking to hear about. This is something that is so widespread. The CDC has confirmed that 538 people in 43 different states have now contracted the enterovirus, almost all of them children.
Duncan is now isolated at the hospital in serious condition.
Wow, this is a really scary story that has so many people concerned. And they had, as breaking news overnight, more than 100 people now who may have come in contact with Duncan are now also being questioned. The spread of this Ebola virus now has people across the country so concerned, so much so that one Arizona man is now voluntarily quarantining himself after returning from a trip to Liberia. Police are working to figure out why a man killed a woman and then stuffed her body in a suitcase. The accused is 36-year-old Semyon Shamsiev. That's the man you're looking at right now. He is charged with first-degree murder. Police say the victim, 25-year-old Kaylee Bolden, and the accused knew each other, but they're still not clear on the motive behind this killing. Police are waiting for autopsy results to determine how Bolden actually died, saying there were obvious signs of trauma to her body. She was found inside a full-size roller-type suitcase next to a dumpster at 16th Street and Bell Road. Police say they were called about a missing person. Then they tracked down her car at a nearby apartment complex and then saw Shamsiev as he was arriving there.
I think he was a little, he knew we were onto him that quickly.
Police say surveillance video from the nearby storage facility also helped with this investigation. It is so rare that we would ever see a funnel cloud like this here in the state of Arizona. Well, the National Weather Service says the tornado was most likely an EF0 or an EF1. So what that means is that wind gusts hit speeds of around 86 to 110 miles an hour. Pretty powerful.
Let's do this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so how about the ASU Sun Devils?
Oh my gosh.
What a win last night.
Unbelievable.
That was such an amazing game. We've ended the 15-year streak, won at the Coliseum in the last few seconds.
I'll tell you.
You couldn't have asked for a better game.
If you didn't see that last highlight from ASU, for one, the game was at 4:30, which was great because I watched all
Yes.
But that last play of the game, I'm sure we'll show it. You know what? I will make it a point that we will show it over and over.
Multiple times, because Friday we kept talking about how the Wildcats had such a big win.
Over
and
Oregon,
we have lots of Wildcat fans, but now that the Sun Devils had a huge win too over USC, this is even more reason to celebrate.
We've got hockey, basketball coming up, the end of baseball, football. Awesome time
There's
of
too
the
much
year.
to do. How do we even have time to go to work anymore?
That's a good point. Okay.
With all of these games to make, how are we going to make time for this?
I don't know. Okay, I'll do that. I'll just not come to work.
Right now, we're following developing news out of California, where investigators are looking into why a small plane registered to an ASU professor crashed in the middle of a street near Los Angeles. We've just learned the LA County Coroner's Office has identified the pilot as 47-year-old Alberto Bahar. Bahar was a professor here at Arizona State University and also worked at NASA. The single-engine, fixed-wing plane crashed at this intersection northwest of LA yesterday afternoon. It had just taken off from the Van Nuys Airport when this happened. Thanks so much, Kim. Well, we have some other news to get to this morning. 2 people are recovering in the hospital after being shot. This happened near 24th Street and Rozier. When crews first arrived on scene, they say they found one man shot shot in the leg, and another man with a gunshot wound in his stomach. Both men were taken to the hospital, and right now we're working to get an update on their conditions. We're also waiting to hear what led up to this shooting, the circumstances surrounding it, and who police say is responsible. A DPS officer also hospitalized after being hit by a car. According to the Arizona Republic, the officer was on his motorcycle when he was hit in Scottsdale. This was up near Miller Road and Murray Lane. DPS says the driver failed to yield and then hit the officer. The officer was alert when responders arrived on scene. He was then transported to the hospital where he is now recovering. The driver of the car is being investigated for possibly driving under the influence. And another motorcycle crash to tell you about. This one also in Scottsdale, this time near Scottsdale Road and Westland. Police say a couple was riding a motorcycle when they were hit by a van. Officers say the van turned right in front of the motorcycle, causing the crash. Both people on the motorcycle ended up only with leg injuries. Fortunately, this could have been a lot worse. Police do not think that drugs or alcohol were factors in this crash. This morning, we're hearing from the family of a missing 79-year-old woman from Surprise. Police say Ethel Crescenzo left her home Tuesday. She told her family she was headed to the Talking Stick Resort and Casino in Scottsdale, but seems to have vanished without a trace. They have not heard from her since.
Developing news here at 5:03 on this Friday. It's a story we've been covering for days. The search continues for an MCSO posse member who's now been missing for 5 days.
Ryan joins us live from the Maricopa County Sheriff's headquarters downtown with more on who this man is that they're looking for. Ryan? Well, even the First Lady has her Get Healthy program for kids, and Dr. Tony O'Donnell is joining us here in our studio this morning to talk about how you can get your kids up and moving around, and also you brought a lot of food with you because you're going to talk about the things that they should avoid and what they should be eating more of but may not be. Well, if you travel through Scottsdale, beware. Speed limit signs in Scottsdale may soon be changing depending on the hour of the day. So this could really catch you off guard here. The city of Scottsdale plans to put up new digital speed limit signs later this month. 4 signs will go up along Camelback Road. This is between Scottsdale and Miller. The speed on those signs will be 35, except overnight on weekends, so the busiest time when people are out at the bars. Then the speed will drop down to 25 in an effort to get people to slow down.
I think anything that you do to help
want to drive.
It'll definitely keep you on your toes there. Variable speed limit signs are already being used in other states and overseas. A group of Arizona college students are winning some serious bragging rights. Their new startup business not only won them the top cash prize in a competition, but it's also going to make a huge difference for thousands of people. Erica Flores has their story.
In fact, love the cooler temperatures, especially at night.
This is the perfect time of year, and in the mornings, because whenever I walk out to my car this early in the morning, it's nice. A little chilly. You can almost grab a light jacket.
You've got your jacket,
I know
don't
a lot of people have been giving me a hard time because I wore a jacket a few times outside in the mornings this week. But it is chilly out there, okay? We had temperatures, April vouched for me. It was, I think, 59 where I was, okay? So in the 50s, I think it's justifiable to wear a jacket. At least in the morning. During the day, you don't need it.
We get used to the hot temperatures, and then when things drop down to like 100, we grab our jackets. I get
it's so true. We have temperatures near 100, and right now everyone's saying, I love how it feels like fall in Arizona. But I think this is the only place in the country where you have temperatures like 98, 99, and you say, wow, it's finally fall. This feels so nice.
And it's good.
And then the State Fair kicks off next week, and there's some interesting food choices, to say the least, on this year's menu.
Well, everything's fried or on a big stick like that. That's a state fair.
But that's what people look forward to.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite fried food?
Anything. Twinkies, chocolate, whatever.
They even do, I know last year we were talking about fried beer was kind of becoming a thing. I've never tried that, but they come up with some crazy combination.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be sent out there to cover it, so be
probably.
ready.
This weekend marks the 73rd anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. This morning, Governor Jan Brewer is waking up in Hawaii. Why didn't they send us there for this assignment? Tomorrow, she will attend a memorial ceremony. She'll visit the sunken hulk of the USS Arizona and then make a visit to a modern warship named for an Arizona city, the attack submarine USS Tucson. The governor also plans to meet with some of the 9 surviving Arizona sailors. Arizona just not represented anywhere else this weekend. Right now, governors from 8 western states are in Las Vegas to talk about water quantity and quality. Western states are facing a water crisis, as we all know, and the governors are trying to figure out what to do about this. Governor Brewer is not in attendance because she's in Hawaii, as we just explained. They plan on discussing capturing every drop of water with projects like dams and diversions. And President Obama met with several newly elected governors at the Oval Office, but Arizona's governor-elect Doug Ducey was not in attendance. The main topics of conversation: ways to promote economic opportunity and create more jobs. The Phoenix Fire Department has a new chief this morning. We want to say congratulations to Chief Kara Kalkbrenner. The first woman to lead the Phoenix Fire Department was sworn in yesterday. After a few brief words, she announced a new 3-year strategic plan to provide better fire service to the growing Phoenix community. Kalkbrenner's new comprehensive strategy addresses 5 key areas: critical infrastructure to meet the growing size of Phoenix's population, succession planning in response to the projected wave of retiring firefighters, fire prevention and education, along with faster service delivery and ongoing training. Followers of former polygamous leader Warren Jeffs are being evicted from their homes. Now, this is happening in the city of Hilldale, right along the Arizona-Utah border. A judge says the residents have failed to pay monthly occupancy fees for years, which has deprived the state of more than $4 million. 7 evictions happened yesterday. Several more are scheduled for later this month and into early next year.